Welcome to today's epic narration of the Golden Age of the Benin Empire, a journey into one of Africa's greatest and most powerful kingdoms. Before we begin, don't forget to like the video, comment your thoughts, share with others, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next historical adventure. Before the age of bronze and coral, before the palaces rose and the drums of Ugi thundered across the land, the world that would one day be called the Benin Empire was a vast tapestry of forest, river, myth, and wandering spirits. The land was ancient, older than the memory of its people, older than the stories grandmothers whispered around evening fires. Dense forests towered over hunters moving silently through the underbrush. Elephant paths became the first roads, and rivers carved secrets into the red earth. Back then, the people lived in scattered communities governed by the Ogisos, the sky kings whose power was said to come from the heavens themselves. The Ogisos ruled not by iron or blood, but by mystery. Their authority was believed to be tied to the supernatural, wind, rain, and the whispers of unseen ancestors who drifted like smoke through the villages. But even in this early age, the land showed signs of the glory to come. The villagers shaped the earth with simple tools but deep wisdom. Their huts were made from palm fronds and mud, standing in tight circles for protection. They farmed yam and cassava. They fished in rivers that shimmered like molten bronze beneath the afternoon sun. And they told stories of spirits, heroes, and gods who walked the earth. Among them was a tale of a serpent spirit that guarded the forest. It was said the serpent could swallow the sun, bringing total darkness. During eclipses, villagers beat drums to scare the creature away, believing their noise saved the light of day. These stories shaped the identity of the people long before the rise of Obas, the Ogisos, and the First Kingdom. The name Igodomigodo, the land's ancient title, echoed across the forest like a chant carried by the wind. The Ogisos ruled from a city whose earth walls stretched beyond the horizon. Their court was a center of early power, filled with judges, advisors, palm wine bearers, and priests. But the Ogisos were not immortal. During the last centuries of their rule, their authority weakened. Some Ogisos became cruel, others reclusive. A growing unease settled over the kingdom like a heavy mist. Villages argued, chiefs resisted authority. Rumors of rebellion spread. It was in this time of confusion, when old order faltered and no new path was yet clear, that destiny stirred. The prophecy of change. An old priestess named Uwenwen was the first to sense it. She lived deep within the forest, near a river where the spirits were believed to gather at dusk. She spoke a prophecy. A stranger shall come from the east. He will not come as conqueror, but as seed. From him will grow kings who are kings of kings, and the land shall rise. At first, no one understood the prophecy, but whispers of a stranger spread. A prince of royal blood, a wanderer seeking fate, would soon walk the red earth of Igodomigodo. His arrival would begin a new chapter in the land's long story, but for now the people did not know his name. They only felt change in the air, like the moment before rainfall, when the wind cools and the earth waits. A land on the brink of transformation. The world was ready for a new dynasty, ready for a new kind of king, ready for the rise of the Benin Empire. But before empire came identity, and before identity came the journey of the stranger who would become Father of Kings. If you're enjoying this story so far, take a moment to like the video, leave a comment, share with friends, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Your support helps us bring more amazing stories like this. The prophecy of the priestess Uwenwen about a stranger from the east who would become seed to a dynasty began as a whisper. But destiny has its own drums, and soon the whisper grew into a rumor that traveled from forest paths to village squares, from hunters to palm wine tappers, from chiefs to the fading court of the last Ogiso. No one understood the prophecy fully, yet everyone sensed its weight. And far beyond the boundaries of Igodomigodo, in a land of sculpted masks and sacred groves, a prince began a journey that would change the world. The Prince of Ile-Ife. His name was Oranmiyan, son of Oduduwa, heir of the royal house of Ile-Ife, warrior by birth, diplomat by nature, restless by destiny. From childhood, Oranmiyan was not like other princes. He was quick to laughter, but quicker to anger. His teachers said he had the fire of a warrior and the patience of a ruler, two forces that clashed often within his spirit. He learned the art of combat beside seasoned fighters, wielding spear, shield, and blade until his hands calloused. But he also learned statecraft, how to listen to grievances, how to speak to crowds, how to carry himself as one born for the throne. As he reached manhood, he became tall, broad-shouldered, and sharp-eyed. His presence commanded respect even before he spoke. Yet Oranmiyan was not entirely at peace. Something tugged at him, like a thread connected to a destiny he could not see. At night, he dreamed of forests he had never walked, rivers he had never crossed, drums he had never heard, a strange land calling his name. He did not know it was Igodomigodo, the envoys in the plea for a king. When the last Ogiso's reign grew weak, factions formed in the Benin kingdom. The chiefs of the 7 great guilds argued, the nobles whispered against one another, and in the midst of their disagreements, one thought united them. Benin needed a new ruler, a strong ruler, a ruler whose authority no chief could challenge. The elders remembered the ancient stories that the bloodline of their early rulers in the lineage of Ile-Ife were intertwined in the beginning of time. Whether myth or truth, it gave them an idea that would reshape history. They would request a prince from Ile-Ife to ascend the Benin throne. So they sent envoys, wise, silver-tongued, and determined, on a long journey across forests, rivers, and hills. They carried gifts of ivory, cloth, and red earth, as well as a plea that carried the weight of a nation. Give us a prince who can rule us, that peace may return to the kingdom of our ancestors. The envoys arrived in Ile-Ife and were received in the great palace. When the plea was spoken aloud in the king's hall, murmurs filled the air. Why should Ile-Ife risk sending a prince to a foreign land? Why claim a throne that was not theirs? But Oranmiyan heard the plea and felt something stir deep within him. The dreams, the unseen rivers, the call of forests he had never known. This, he realized, was the path destiny had been pulling him toward. He stepped forward in the council and said, "I will go." The journey across the red earth. The journey from Ile-Ife to the future kingdom of Benin was long and filled with trials. Oranmiyan traveled with warriors, hunters, priests, and advisors. They moved through dense forests where ancient trees whispered old secrets. They trekked alongside rivers that shimmered under the sun. They crossed farmlands and villages where people paused in awe at the sight of the proud prince from the east. At night, around campfires, Oranmiyan listened to tales from wandering hunters, stories of Igodomigodo, a land of powerful chiefs, a land of arts and mysteries, a land ruled by sky kings, a land ready for a change. Every story tightened the invisible thread pulling him forward. Arrival in Igodomigodo. When Oranmiyan finally arrived at the gates of the ancient kingdom, the land seemed to exhale in recognition, as though it had been waiting for him. The city was vast, larger than he had imagined. Earthen walls towered above the horizon, dotted with watchtowers and guarded by warriors armed with spears and obsidian blades. Smoke rose from cooking fires, mixing with the scent of wood, spice, and red earth. The chiefs welcomed the prince with grandeur and respect. A festival was declared. Drums thundered. Dancers performed. The people looked upon the tall foreign prince wondering, could this man truly rule them? Could a stranger understand their ways? Was this the one foretold by prophecy? Oranmiyan walked the palace grounds and felt the truth settle upon his spirit. This was the land from his dreams. This was the destiny waiting for him. The stranger who would become seed. But ruling Igodomigodo was not simple. The chiefs were proud and powerful. They expected a king who would bend to their will. Oranmiyan, however, was a prince born to lead, unyielding, bold, and determined. Clashes arose between him and the local chiefs. While Oranmiyan wanted unity, discipline, and central authority, many chiefs preferred the fractured power they had enjoyed under the weakening Ogiso rule. The tension grew day by day until at last Oranmiyan uttered a famous remark that history would remember. "This land is a land of chameleons. I cannot rule such a people." And with that, he prepared to return to Ile-Ife. But destiny was not done with him. Before leaving, he fathered a child with a noblewoman of the land. This child would grow to become Eweka I, the first true Oba of the Benin Empire, the beginning of a dynasty whose influence would echo across centuries. Though Oranmiyan left Benin, he did not leave it empty. He left something more powerful than his rule: a bloodline, a foundation, a seed. The dynasty that would give birth to the Golden Age of the Benin Empire began with him. When Oranmiyan left Igodomigodo in frustration, the kingdom sensed both loss and possibility. The stranger prince had come like a whirlwind, bold, regal, and destined, yet he had departed before the land could fully claim him. Still, he did not leave without shaping the future. His time in the ancient city had planted a seed that would one day grow into a mighty tree. That seed was a child. A prince born of two worlds, blood of Ile-Ife, blood of Igodomigodo, and destiny that belonged to both. His name would become a cornerstone of history, Eweka, the First Oba, the birth of a prince. The boy was born to Eweka I, a noblewoman of the ancient kingdom, a woman of grace, dignity, and fierce intelligence. From the moment she held him in her arms, she knew the child was extraordinary. He did not cry like other infants. Instead, he observed, quietly, intensely. Elders whispered that his gaze felt older than his days, as if spirits hovered around him whispering secrets of kingdoms yet to rise. Eweka raised him with stories of his father, the prince from the east who walked like a warrior and spoke like a king. Though young Eweka never met Oranmiyan, the tales of his father lived in him like a flame lit by the gods. The chiefs heard of the child and watched from afar, unsure at first. But as Eweka grew, so too did talk of his royal bearing. A kingdom in turmoil. After Oranmiyan's departure, Igodomigodo was adrift. The chiefs quarreled among themselves. Villages sought leaders of their own. The authority of the last Ogiso crumbled into memory. And with no king on the throne, the land drifted like a canoe without a paddle. The elders realized something had to change. They remembered the prophecy of the priestess Eweka. A seed from the stranger would grow into kings of kings. Perhaps the prophecy had not failed. Perhaps it had only begun. Whispers of Eweka reached the palace, and soon the chiefs sent for him. The boy before the chiefs. Eweka was still young, barely a boy, when he first stepped into the great palace courtyard. The earth beneath his feet was red and warm. The looming palace walls seemed to watch him as he walked, tall despite his years. The chiefs, proud and seasoned men, lined up in the courtyard. They expected childish fear. Instead, the boy bowed respectfully, then looked each of them in the eye with a calmness that startled them. "Who are you, child?" asked one of the chiefs. "I am Eweka," he said, "son of the one you called." His voice was soft, but steady. The chiefs exchanged glances. They saw in him something Oranmiyan possessed, strength not of body, but of spirit. But there was a problem. The boy spoke not the full language of the land. His tongue carried the influence of his father's lineage. For a king to rule, he needed to speak the words of his people. And so the chiefs hesitated. Was this boy, for all his promise, ready? The test of language and legacy. It was the eldest chief, Ogiso of Untold, who made the decision that shaped history. He stepped forward, touched the boy's shoulder and said, "A king must understand his people. A king must speak as they speak. Let him learn our tongue. Let him learn our customs. Let him learn our spirits. And then he shall be king." Thus began a period of intense teaching. Eweka studied under the wisest elders. He learned the ancient language of the land. He learned its proverbs, its laws, its gods, its taboos. He listened to stories of the Ogisos, of the earth spirits, of ancestors whose names shaped the winds. And the more he learned, the more he grew, not just in knowledge, but in presence. By the time he reached manhood, Eweka spoke the language with the clarity and authority of a native son. His voice carried like the strike of a bronze bell. The chiefs called him again. This time they did not see a child, they saw a leader. The coronation of the First Oba. The day of Eweka's coronation is remembered as the dawn of a new age. The entire kingdom gathered, warriors, traders, craftsmen, mothers with infants tied to their backs, children sitting on rooftops to glimpse the sight. Drums thundered across the city. Ivory trumpets blasted like the cry of ancient spirits. Masked dancers spun in circles, invoking blessings for the new age. Eweka walked through the city dressed in coral beads, red cloth, and garments woven with symbols of kingship. His mother watched with pride, tears glimmering in her eyes. At the palace, the chiefs stood in a semicircle. The oldest among them held the royal staff, symbol of authority. He spoke. With the passing of the Ogisos, the old world ended. With the rise of Eweka, the new world begins. You shall be called Oba. You shall rule this land. You shall be the first of your name. The staff was placed in Eweka's hand. The drums stopped. The city held its breath. And then, as if the gods themselves marked the moment, a bird landed upon the palace roof and cried out. The chiefs bowed. The people cheered. The age of the Obas had begun. The shaping of a kingdom. Eweka's reign was one of restoration. He rebuilt authority. He restructured the chiefs into a council that supported the throne. He reorganized villages under royal administration. He established laws that brought unity and stability. Under Eweka, the people no longer spoke of Igodomigodo, the fractured land of sky kings. They began to speak of Ubinu, the land that would later be called Benin. And in this new land, Eweka planted the foundation of a dynasty that would stretch across the centuries, producing kings whose names would echo through time. Ewuwari the Great, Ozalua the Conqueror, Isiji the Diplomat, Ehengbuda the Warrior. All of them trace their origins to the boy who became the first Oba. Thus, the rise of Eweka I marked the true beginning of the empire, whose golden age would one day stun the world with its art, its power, and its brilliance. The story begins long before the rise of the Benin Empire, in the ancient land of Igodomigodo, ruled by the mystical Ogisos, the Sky Kings. The people lived in scattered communities, guided by myths, spirits, and early traditions. As the Ogiso dynasty weakened, unrest spread, and the kingdom longed for a new kind of ruler. A prophecy foretold that a stranger from the east would arrive, a seed from whom future kings would rise. That stranger was Prince Oranmiyan of Ile-Ife. Gifted in war and wisdom, He journeyed to Igodomigodo after the chiefs requested a leader who could restore order. Though welcomed, Oranmiyan clashed with the powerful chiefs and eventually returned to Ile-Ife. But before departing, he fathered a child, Eweka. Raised by his mother Aramwinde, young Eweka showed royal character from early childhood. When chaos overtook the kingdom, the chiefs summoned him. After studying the language, customs, and laws of the land, he proved worthy of leadership. Eweka was crowned the first Oba of Benin, marking the end of the Ogiso era and the dawn of a new dynasty. His reign brought order, unity, and the foundation of what would become the Benin Empire. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story and want more epic history narrations like this one, like the video, drop a comment, share with others, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any future episodes.